A small portion of this video is kindly sponsored by Nom.
Exiting home. Please keep the space clear.
But we'll talk about them a little bit later on. Firstly, let's get to planning our ideal apartment. Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be planning sort of our dream first apartment together, first flat together, because my partner and I have been together for over 8 years now and we've only just decided to move in together. And it's been a long process. We are 13 months into our visa process, but we do have some good news. Our petition has finally been approved so that we can move to the next stage of our visa process, which is really exciting, and I'm feeling very, very, very grateful for that right now. We still have some of the visa process to go through, but I feel like I can finally start to get a little bit excited about the fact that we might actually get to live together very, very soon. So I made a video actually earlier this year talking about the things that I wasn't going to be buying this year, and furniture was kind of one of them, or new furniture. I really wanted to try and find as much secondhand furniture for our new place as possible, with the exceptions of just a few things like a mattress, for example. I just have particular thoughts about buying those firsthand, and unless I can find like an ex display one or something like that, I'll definitely be looking into that first. I think we just all have our limits, or we all have our boundaries, and honestly a mattress is just one of those things for me, and I have never had a new mattress in my whole 30 years of being alive, so I feel like this is something that we would just like. There it is. Okay, so when I talk about the fact that I'm going to plan this, obviously I have to run all of this by my partner because it's going to be his space as well, and I want to make sure that he is happy and comfortable in it, and it just doesn't just suit my personality but also suits his. I want him to feel happy and comfortable just like I want to feel happy and comfortable. The only thing is that neither of us, I can't speak for him, I really don't have good interior taste. Like, I don't know how to put things together. I don't know what looks nice. I just know that I like different pieces, but then when I put them together, they just don't kind of look that good. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know anything about interiors or that I have good taste in that respect, because here's a secret for you, I don't. But we're not going to let that stop us from planning our dream, sustainable, secondhand, mostly apartment together. Now I feel like when anyone, decides on these things, the first thing they do is head to Pinterest. I hear Pinterest is very helpful for these kinds of things. I am not someone who uses Pinterest because I simply don't really know how. All I know is that you pin things. We're also not going to be working with much space because the places that we're looking for in terms of apartments are incredibly expensive. And it's quite hard to find something that has a kind of blank canvas that's also not hyper modern, because I don't like the kind of hyper modern look, or isn't already very filled with stuff. We're not looking for a big apartment. We really don't need a lot of space. We just need a space where we can both work, where we can both sleep, and where we can both eat and hang out. That's pretty much it. It's how you fill the space, I think, that can make it a wonderful home, or that can make it just not a very nice place to live and work. So I'm going to write down a kind of list of requirements for me, and some that my partner has said that he particularly wants. So one of the things that we've always talked about is the size of the bed. We've always had a double or a queen. Sometimes I forget that he's in there and I like to starfish, and that's not very friendly, I don't think. Do you think it's a bit ridiculous to get a king size bed? I really wish it wasn't called a king size bed. I'm just gonna put that down as something, the only thing we've really talked about, and that's mostly because I'm a very long person with very long limbs. Also, my partner finds it really hard to sleep, so I think having a bed that's really comfortable is going to be quite a big deal. So to be honest, I'm going to put it down, king size bed. I also have no idea what beds look good. I've never chosen. I'm 30 years old and my mum has always chosen what bed my bed looks like. Okay, so king size bed is definitely one thing that we care about. A desk, or one long desk or 2 desks, is very important. So desks to work. These I don't doubt at all we could probably find secondhand. I really don't think that would be a problem. I think maybe it might take a bit of time, but I'd rather take a lot of time to find the right desk and make sure it's secondhand than just buy stuff quickly to just, make it work, whatever. It's more important, obviously, that my partner finds a desk sooner than I do, so I can always work on the floor. I can work anywhere, but he needs his structure, he needs his desk set up in such a certain way, and that's why we are planning now, because I just want to have a look to see what's out there. In the UK, like, I know where you can find stuff. Facebook Marketplace is really good. Also, we have loads of secondhand stores that you can rock up to, loads of charity secondhand stores that you have lots of furniture and stuff, which is really cool. And either you can take it home or they can deliver it for you. In the US, I don't really know the landscape very well, so I don't really know what is possible. I'm sure they have Facebook Marketplace there. I'm sure Shelby has mentioned that. I mean, Facebook is American. Oh, the metaverse is taking over. So we need 2 desks and we need a dining table. Is that essential? I think so. I personally don't want to buy a TV. I don't think we need one. We'll see what he thinks about that. We'll need a sofa. I've actually already been looking up online how to clean sofas properly so that we can buy a secondhand one and not feel weird about it. I mean, I'm a huge advocate for secondhand. I mean, I wear secondhand clothes, but I do wash those clothes first before I wear them. So I feel like if you're going to get a sofa, you might as well get one that you can clean properly if it's going to be a secondhand one. My boyfriend actually, at his last apartment, he and his housemates bought a secondhand sofa, and it was so nice. It basically looked like it was brand new, and it was something like $100. Maybe that? It was definitely more expensive than that to buy new. This is also another thing. Buying secondhand furniture is going to be so much cheaper, so much cheaper, so much more affordable. The whole moving process is so much more expensive than I could have possibly imagined. Just the visa alone, this sort of spousal visa was about, or fiance visa was about $500. And then after we get married, we have to apply for the right to remain visa, which I think is another like $2,000. Hence why I've been doing my low buy year last year, and I'm actually about to start another kind of low buy period before I move, because it's such an expensive process and I didn't really realize that moving and shipping and everything like that was going to be so expensive. I mean, I knew it was going to be expensive, but there are so many costs that are baked in, and obviously renting, you have to have your deposit. So I think buying secondhand furniture is really going to help us with our budget and making sure that we have enough money for in case of emergency and all the other things associated with moving and getting married. And yeah, it's been quite a stressful time, I won't lie. I think a coffee table would be nice. I think definitely some bookshelves, because those bookshelves can also double as a kind of camera shelf. So we have bookshelves that are maybe full length or something, so we can put books on a couple of the shelves, and then we could put my camera stuff on a couple of the other shelves. I don't want my stuff to sort of get in the way and clutter up the place. I think it's going to be really helpful to have specific spaces where you can put everything where they need to be. I think also having my cameras exactly where they are will make it really easy for me to work, but also make sure that I'm using all of my equipment so that it's not being wasted. I really hate the idea of having things that don't get used. I always want to make sure I'm using the things that I have. So definitely sort of bookshelves that can double. I don't really understand what else you're supposed to buy for apartments. I mean, if you've been following me since I lived in that flat in London, then you'll know I'm quite the minimalist when it comes to actually buying furniture for my room, but to an extreme level that makes it not cozy and doesn't make it sort of warm and friendly. And one thing I definitely want to avoid is that feeling of coldness in the flat that we move into. I definitely want it to sort of have maybe a few blankets, which I already have, so we don't need to buy those. I can just bring those with me. Some really nice artwork that's colourful. I don't want to live in a sort of, I don't know, white-walled, ultra-modern place that just kind of feels a bit sterile. I really want to have some character and some fun. And maybe it's okay that I don't have that kind of innate sense of how to put things together. Maybe that can be what makes the apartment full of character or homey and cozy or things like that. I mean, I actually really resonated with Lena Norms's recent video where she bought a house, and she was saying that suddenly she feels like she has to just have an opinion about shower curtains and have an opinion about these other interior design things. And it made me really laugh, because I was like, that's how I'm feeling about moving into this flat. I'm already panicking about putting things together. I mean, my mum is so good at putting things together. That's why when I film at my parents' house, it just looks nice, because they are just so much better at understanding how to put things together, colours that go together. Yeah, I mean, I love Lena Norms. If you haven't watched Lena Norms' video, you haven't heard of her before, you should definitely go and watch her channel. She is chef's kiss. One major thing I've been considering when moving into our first apartment together is the shared responsibility of bills, rent, sharing the space and keeping it clean and tidy. The latter is an area I particularly struggle with, especially when I'm busy, which is one of the reasons why I tend to keep my space on the more minimal side. Over the past 2 years, I've tried to not impose upon my parents too much and help with all the chores in the house, especially since we have dogs and a cat who definitely leave a lot of dust and dirt on the floors. And considering we look after my nephews on a Monday, who love to crawl around on the floors and are always picking things up and putting them in their mouths. To help keep the floors clean without the extra work, we have been using Narwhal, who are the sponsor of today's video, as mentioned earlier. My parents absolutely love the Narwhal because not only does it vacuum the floors, but it also mops them by using its smart mapping software, and once returned home, self-cleans and dries the mop to prevent bacterial growth. The robot is so easy to use that even my 3-year-old nephew has been helping us keep the floors clean. The base station has 2 different water tanks separating the clean water from the wastewater, meaning we can reuse the wastewater in the garden rather than letting it go to waste. If you would like to find out more about Narwhal, please check out the link in the description.
Start vacuuming.
What else am I supposed to need? I mean, things like plates, cutlery. I feel like that's so easy to get secondhand. I'll just put that on here because I think that's what adults buy, you know, plates and cutlery. I'm really hoping there's like a wardrobe already there, not like a standalone one. All American flats seem to have like doors already built in with wardrobes, which is so unusual. I haven't seen that very much here. But that's what I'm hoping for, so that we don't have to buy one. But I will put, just in case, I'll put wardrobe. I think I'm going to need your help in thinking about how to make things cozy. Maybe 9. What else could we think about? I think a rug would be very important. Rug and cushions. I'm definitely not the kind of person to buy stuff for shelves for like decoration. Actually, I'm not the kind of person to buy anything for decoration. Maybe we'll try and find some like local artists' work to support, or secondhand. One thing I have noticed about US thrift stores is that they are ginormous, and yeah, I really don't think we're gonna have any trouble finding the stuff that we want. Most of the stuff that my partner bought at uni for things like a rice cooker and pots and pans and stuff, he bought all secondhand from the thrift store, and it was so cheap. It was like $10 for a rice cooker and for these pots and pans and stuff. It was much more affordable than buying this stuff new, and more sustainable. And then maybe also a lamp each, because obviously we love to read, and I want to make sure that I am designing the apartment in a way, look at me thinking like I know what I'm talking about. Arranging the apartment in such a way that it promotes the things that we like to do or makes those things easier. So that's why I want to have like the bookshelves. I want to have my cameras out so it makes it easier for me to do my work. I want to have the side tables and the lamps so it makes us easier to read at night and promotes those good habits. And I just want to design it in a way that makes it, there we go again with the design. I just want to arrange it in a way that promotes the things that we want to do. And this is why I personally don't want to buy a TV, because I mean, I don't really watch very much TV at all unless I'm alone. And then I kind of watch rom-coms in the evenings so that I don't feel lonely or scared in this house. Just me. We definitely both have things that we particularly are interested in. Like we both want to have a kitchen that is set up so that we can do a lot of cooking. Obviously cooking is really integral to my channel, and also just my mental health. I specifically learned to cook over the lockdown because it was the only thing that kind of kept me feeling mentally healthy or got me out of some dark spots. So buying stuff for the kitchen is going to be really exciting. I would love to be able to find some Le Creuset pots and pans secondhand. That would be so good. I'm going to start that search now actually, because those pans are amazing, but they are really expensive, and I kind of feel like someone's selling them somewhere for secondhand, so I'm definitely going to try that. But apart from that, I'm really not sure. I really have no idea. I'm actually very stressed about this. I'm very stressed about the whole visa process. I'm very stressed about moving. I'm very stressed about the fact that when I do move, obviously I can't really work or like earn money because I won't have a social security number. So there are like lots of things that I have to think about, and that's why I'm saving and doing this another low buy kind of period, so that I can save as much money as possible that I will essentially have to live off until I get my social security number and then get my bank account and then can earn money. So it's just a big old process that's taking a while and is kind of really stressing me out to be honest, but it will all be worth it, which is why I want to put in the effort now. And I'm so grateful that I did a huge decluttering series last year, so that it makes the whole moving process so much easier. I am actually going to go through everything again. I'm going to go through all my clothes again. I'm going to go through every like actual piece of things that I own and try and declutter more, try and sell more stuff, try and give more stuff to friends, because I really don't want to be shipping loads of stuff abroad. I know that you can do it in a bit of a more sustainable way, but I still think that we can do some downgrading, I think. This was just a little bit of an update, as well as trying to plan my dream secondhand apartment, but there are just lots of things that I've been thinking about that I haven't been sure about what I want. I don't really know what my taste is or my style or how to put things together, as I've said a million times in this video. So maybe it will be one of those things that we just do nice and slowly, just, you know, picking things that really suit both of our personalities, also suit the apartment, and are a more sustainable option. I moved quite a lot at university. I moved every single year, and then I obviously moved abroad for my year abroad, and then I moved back, and I ended up not having much stuff at all because I was moving so constantly, and I never actually bought any furniture because we were always renting places that were furnished. So the only things that I would buy would be maybe pots and pans that came with me, and they are still at the flat in London that my sister uses. So they definitely have some longevity, but I don't really have much experience in buying and putting together my own apartment. So that's why this whole process is so exciting, but also really terrifying. So if you have any tips, I would really appreciate hearing them. I would love to know if you have any people that you recommend as well. I'm sure there are loads of YouTubers, and I have definitely started that process of looking at what other people do and looking at how they put things together. But for some reason, when you watch someone, it doesn't correlate in my brain to then being able to visualize it myself. I'm going to start a Pinterest board for sure, and I'm just going to pin things and see. I also have that kind of anxiety of like, what if I put stuff together and I think it looks really great and then actually it looks really terrible? But then again, also what I'm thinking is I'm an adult now, and it's probably more important that we both enjoy our space as it is than what other people think about it. But I also am conscious that I want it to look nice in the videos that I create. It's going to be a whole process, and I'm really excited to share it with you and get your advice, because you all seem to have just the best advice, so I really do appreciate it. But I'm just excited to get going with the whole process. I will keep you updated if you're interested on the whole visa thing. I will be interested to see how my kind of sustainable lifestyle changes when I move to the US. I'll definitely be making a video about that. I'll be interested to see where we move to, how easy it is in terms of transport, walkability, cyclability. Will there be any sustainable shops? Will there be any zero waste shops? We will see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, even though it was just a very, very, very casual kind of talking about moving and it being quite an overwhelming experience, even though it's also an exciting experience. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any advice, I'm always here to listen. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.